So, I'm not really sure how good I am at doing tutorials. I've never really done one before. So, sorry ahead of time if this doesn't really work very well for you. So for the ribbon roses, I use the satin ribbon. This one is just a one-sided satin. The other side's a little bit rougher. It's not horrible, but just because to me it holds up better. So usually I cut that into a 27-inch strip and just kind of go from there. And I'm gonna try and do 3 of these so you can kind of like see how the rhythm flows with that. And I'm kind of got my arms like around the camera here. So again, sorry. So what you're gonna want to do is get your ribbon. It's like this. You're gonna want to make a triangle here, or right angle, or whatever that is. And I generally like to just kind of do that. Just kind of like give myself a crease that I can kind of like look at to see. Then I take the glue gun and I go right across the top where that would fold over. And that's it. And then I just take that and put it back down. And once that's done, hopefully you saw all that. Then I just take this point here, and then I flip it down to this side to make another triangle. When I do this here, I take the glue gun and I just put a little dab of glue right there. Because again, nobody's going to see this part. It's on the inside of the rose. Oops, hopefully you saw that. Anyway, I put the glue right here on the inside. Make that down there. And then we have this. So now it's a pointy triangle. Side that's all raw. You're going to face that away from you. Okay, and then you're going to have this side here. Okay, and so next we are going to take this and you're going to flip it under. And what you're going to want to do is just turn it under so that basically it's forming like a triangle underneath. And that's basically just how I use that to kind of like gauge how much I need to fold up. And I leave just a little bit. I fold this over here. And I leave just a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. Now the sun's coming in. I leave just a little bit of the tip open. I flip it over. And then open that back up. And I put a little bit of glue right here. And then just flip that back down. Like that. Okay, I'm back. I had to stop there for a second and get rid of the sunlight because I want to make sure you can actually see this. Okay, so once we flip this over, put the glue down here, now you should be able to see that you've got like a little bit there. And it's going to overhang a little bit, so it's not going to line right up, and that's fine. It's not supposed to. What I like to do is I like to put my finger right here just to keep this edge over here from curling all the way under. So I don't want it to curl all the way under here when I do that. So I put my finger right here and I just kind of flip it and basically do the same thing as before. Make a triangle, and when I get the triangle, hold these two pieces together and flip it up. And then I'll roll it over. Put a little bit of glue. And then flip it down. And again, you're not really leaving, you're not like overdoing it like a lot. Just want to leave like a little bit there. And then you just do the same thing again. And then each time you want to go down just a little bit. So it's kind of like stacking on the way down. And every time you fold over, it's going to be a little bit less here. And this is going to start to look like it's hanging over more. And that's fine. But still, you want to still maintain that you're making basically like a loose-ish type triangle. And then pull it over. And then this is going to start to like curl up over. And that's fine. It's supposed to look like that. And again, like I said, you're going to get less and less left here as you go around. And then again. And again. Now, if you do happen to get glue on there, if you can get it off real quick, that's great. If you can't, you can always take like a blow dryer and like reheat that a little bit, and it'll keep it from like staining. You don't want to touch it and have like a little white spot on there. And then what you want to do is you want to keep doing that until you get about a little over 12 inches left at the bottom. When you get to that point, I think I can probably actually still do one more. I still have enough. Yeah, that should work. So, do that till you have like about 12 inches left. When you get to that point, just kind of eyeball it. It's not like exact. So if you have like 13, you want to stop and do it there, that's fine. So, when you get to that point, then you're going to take it and you're going to stop. You're going to have, this is what's left. And then make sure that this is set from when you just put the glue there. Then you're going to take it, and I like to push the ends, the insides that were like out here. I like to push those together a little bit, and then I keep 2 fingers underneath the bottom so it doesn't like completely fall out, and then I just kind of like smush this down. Not like super hard, but just like so that it's like flat, like that. And then at that point, because this is still glued, so then try to keep 2 fingers down here and keep your thumb up here. And then you're going to want to still kind of like do that triangle thing, the triangle flip. And then just kind of loosely, you don't want to like pull it super tight because then it's going to like come up here. So you're going to want to just like loosely make the little turn to make like the triangle. And then just kind of like let it go around. And you don't want to put it all the way up here. You don't want to have it up this high. Just kind of like right here to where it's crossing over this end piece. So it's going to like cross over like that. So you take your glue gun, put a little bit right here. I know some of the videos have them like putting the glue on there. I don't, but that's just me. If it makes you feel better to do it that way, that's fine. This works for me. I don't know why. And then you take your thumb, rub that on there to make sure it's got a nice hold. And then again, keeping your fingers on the knee, underneath and your thumb at the top. Just kind of rotate it. And then keep doing the same thing. A little turn. A little fold. And then a little glue right at the little top of that little triangle part there. And then just kind of fold it over. And again, you're not really going all the way up at the top because it's going to keep rotating around. And fold it over. You can see how that just kind of, it's going to like cross over. Let me pull this around. So it's going to cross over this part like that. So there's going to be like a little roll in here. I just put the glue right in there and I pull it out. And just kind of grab that and roll it. And again. And I hold it with my pinky finger just to kind of like keep it from flying around there. And I'm just going to pull it all the way out to the edge. And fold it over. And you want to start going like down this way because you need it to, at some point on the bottom, it needs to start coming up over here because you're actually going to turn that under at the end. So you're doing slightly smaller triangle turns. Again, just kind of hold it. Your pinky finger if you can. And again, use your thumb to kind of make sure that sticks before you start pulling it around too much. You don't want it to come off. Because then you have a glue mess. And again, you're going to want to turn and fold it over. And fold it there. Again, keep your thumb there. So it's going to look like it's like smushed down and like totally not right, but it is right. And when you've got to this point and you've got maybe an inch or so left, then you're pretty much done. You're going to want to flip it over and see if you've got like a lot of overhang here. If you do, some people like to try and do it again. I generally try not to, but you know, you can. Actually, I think I do have enough space on this one to do it one more time. But this one would be like a really, really, really shallow triangle. Because again, you want to leave enough here to be able to flip it under. So with this one, I probably actually would just kind of like keep an eye on it to see like where I need it to go. And then just kind of like put the glue right here. And then now we can flip it over. And you've got this much left. So let's see where you are there. Still seems like it's a bit much to me. So you're going to cut some of that off. So you don't need quite that much. And seal the edge back up so it doesn't unravel. And what I like to do is I like to kind of like check beforehand just to kind of like see where I'm putting it so I know what I have to do. All this here is going to be kind of covered up. This right here is what you need to be concerned about because this is where you're going to be putting your glue at to kind of like round out the rows per se. I'm going to try and move this back some so you can see. Okay, so what you're going to do is, it's going to take a little bit of glue here. You're going to just take this and you're going to cover this part here with glue. Because this is going to be somewhat of the base of your rose. This is going to keep the middle part down. And then find a spot that's not completely saturated. Don't burn yourself. And you're just going to fold this in to the bottom here. And then tuck this in so it's not like hanging outside of the rose. Once you get that tucked in, don't let it sit too long, and then flip the rose up, so right side up, I guess, and then push the middle part down gently. I do that just to kind of like attach the center to the flap that we just put on the bottom there. And I just let it sit there for a second, just to kind of like make sure it gets a good grip. After that, you can flip it over, and there you go. And then here's the rest of the part. You just kind of like fill it in. I usually start from over here. Glue out of there. This part right here. And it's honestly, it's not going to look perfect, but I guess that's the whole point from what I was told. That roses are not exactly perfect, so you just put a little bit of glue inside that outer flap there and just turn it over. And again, it's going to look super ugly on the back side. But don't worry about that right now. Again, just going to keep putting glue on that inside flap. Some of the videos they show it, they just like circle it all the way around all at once, and I can't do that. And then again, I just kind of like fold it over. When I get to this point, I kind of just hold it down to make sure it stays. And go back in. And I finish going all the way around. Okay, now once you're done with that, if you see any pieces that are like super loose and sticking up or whatever and you don't like it, or because you're like me, you're just weird like that, I put glue back in those little flaps and I just hold it down. And again, it's okay if it's messy because you're really not going to see that. I guess I don't really actually need to put that there. So again, I don't like that piece being loose. Now, I'm going to show you why it doesn't matter if it looks ugly on the back like this. If it looks gross like this, nobody cares. That is because if you're making a bouquet, this is going to be covered up, because all you got to do when you go to make your bouquet is you're going to put glue all over the back side of this, but not all the way out to the edge, because you don't want it to like squish out. And you would take it and you would push it on your styrofoam like that, so no one's ever going to see the bottom part of the rose. That looks gross, so you don't have to worry about that. If you are not making a bouquet with it and you're making like a hair bow or something, in that case then this is way too big, because this is actually a back for a corsage. But basically what you would do is you can actually, I wonder if I got, you can take like a, if you have like a pen or something, you can just take a pen and like put your rose down and then trace around the rose, like right up to the edge of it. And then you can cut out, if you want to like have it like super like right, as far as like the size wise, you can cut it out, like trace it, cut it out. And what I like to do is when I do trace them for like the backs of the lapel pins, I do trace them for those. What I like to do is I'll trace it to match the rose exactly, and then I cut just a hair inside of that line, so that way it's not like all the way out here at the edge. And I think yeah, I do have one. So you can kind of like see if I finish it off. Normally I would finish these off with, I try to match the color ribbon as best I can. Usually if I can't, I'll try to use a black base. If it's a darker ribbon, I'll use a black. And if it's a lighter ribbon, I'll either use white or ivory. I actually ran out of the black, and I haven't had a chance to go to the store, so that's why this one is an ivory color, but it goes with that set that I did earlier. This is a lapel pin, and it just clips right on, and once it's clipped on, no one knows that there's an ivory back on there. But yeah, so that's your rose, and then once you're done, I guess I probably should show it to you, then there you go. Again, all the little flyaways of glue and stuff, more than likely that won't be there for you. It's just like hard for me to do this with my arms all the way in front. But yeah, so there you go. And again, you know, as you practice and do it more and more, it'll get better. I mean, this one's a tighter one than, say, some of my other ones. Some of the ones I do, depending on what I'm making it for, I'll make them a little bit looser, like this one, so that, you know, of course, it's clearly not circular all the way, but, you know, just depending on what you want it for, what you need it for. It kind of looks like an eyeball right now. But yeah, so I mean, again, you'll get the hang of it after a while. You'll kind of like see and be able to kind of like judge like how tight or how loose you want the turns to be and all that stuff. It took me a while to figure it out, so don't get discouraged. I went through quite a bit of ribbon. I actually practiced on grosgrain, which I think kind of messed me up a little bit because the grosgrain is really stiff, so it didn't like fold and like, you know, it wasn't as easily moldable, I guess. But yeah, so again, you know, it's not, I won't say it's easy, but it's not super hard once you get the hang of it. I actually avoided trying to even learn how to make these kind because I hated all the tutorials, and I was just like, this sucks. This rose is stupid, and I don't like it, and I don't know why anybody does this. They have to be ordering those things from a factory somewhere because there's no way possible a normal person is doing this. So, but it took me a while, but I wanted to be able to offer people more of a variety. So that was why I just decided one day. I had some extra ribbon left over that I got when it was on sale at Hobby Lobby, and so I just kind of went with that and decided, you know, I'm gonna just sit down. I'm gonna work this out. I'm gonna figure it out. So I'm gonna record another one of these so it's not like super long all at once, and then but I'm not gonna talk this time. I'm just gonna like let you watch me because I think my voice sounds weird, and I have no idea how it translates on camera. So but I'll send both of these to you, and then let me know if that helps at all. And if not, you know, we can go from there and kind of like work it out. Even if you just want to, you know, even if you decide you just want the video help, but you just want to have somebody to talk to while you're doing it, that's fine too. But be forewarned, I have a house full of boys, and my kitchen is a hot mess because I'm working up here because I'm moving my craft area downstairs. So half of my stuff is upstairs, half of it's down here, and my husband's like freaking out. So, but anyway, I ramble. So anyway, hopefully this helped out a lot, Rhonda. Let me know if it does. And I'm going to go ahead and get the next video done with the next rose, and I'm not going to talk on that one, so you can kind of like just focus on watching me. All right, see ya.